Today's video is going to be a little bit different to usual because I want to dedicate this video to a particular topic which I feel the need to talk about. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because I feel that it is underrated.
This is kind of a sensitive topic for me.
And the topic is anxiety disorders. I feel that anxiety is underrated. I feel that not enough people know what it is, what it's about, what it means, what it can do, because I feel that there is a lot more to it than just, oh, that person gets extra anxious about things.
Anxiety, it's not fun. It really sucks, and I feel it's something that's not taken as seriously as it should be.
Having anxiety can make you not want to do things that you wish you could. It's not about not wanting to, it's about not being able to, and that is what I feel is most upsetting about having anxiety.
I lost everything. Everyone. By everything I mean I had a £400 laptop. I didn't want to go up the shops to buy food. I didn't want to go out and get a job. So I sold my laptop. I sold my Xbox. I sold my phone. I sold everything I had to get money so that I could order food online.
I think that some people feel as if people who suffer with anxiety want to be that way. They're comfortable with the choices they make about not doing things with friends or not going to places. They would much rather not be that way. It's not a choice.
I got embarrassed to talk to people. I thought everyone's talking about me all the time. If anyone looked at me, I would go red with embarrassment and just hide and cry.
It is completely, absolutely normal to feel anxious or to be worried about certain things, but it's when anxiety and being nervous about things start running your life, that is when it's a problem. If you spend excessive amount of time worrying about things or being nervous or even having trouble sleeping, they may be symptoms of anxiety.
Anxieties, everyone has them really, just some are more serious than others. It can ruin people's lives.
Unless somebody has anxiety other than yourself, trying to explain it and make them understand like what you're feeling and how much it actually controls you is impossible.
Anxiety is a natural human reaction. It serves an important basic survival function. Anxiety is an alarm system that activates whenever somebody perceives danger or threat. And whenever the body perceives danger or threat, it comes out in physical sensations of anxiety. A faster heartbeat and breathing, tense muscles, sweaty palms, queasy stomach, trembling hands and legs. And they're caused from a rush of adrenaline to prepare the body to make a quick getaway from the danger they're in. These sensations are part of the body's fight-flight response, and the fight-flight response happens as soon as someone senses threat. So anyone can feel these symptoms of being anxious or nervous about something, absolutely anyone, because anxiety makes somebody be prepared, makes them feel alert, focused and ready to head off potential problems which they were about to face. And a little anxiety can help us do our best in situations that involve performance. But anxiety that is too strong can interfere with doing our best. Too much anxiety can cause people to feel tongue-tied, overwhelmed, or unable to do what they need to do. Anxiety disorders are mental health conditions that involve excessive amounts of anxiety, fear, nervousness, worry, or dread. And there is more than one type of anxiety, and they all have different symptoms. But they all have one thing in common. Anxiety occurs too often, is too strong, is out of proportion to the current situation, and affects a person's everyday life and happiness.
I'm still affected today, you know, sometimes I don't do certain things just because I don't want to set a attack off.
Symptoms of an anxiety problem can suddenly come, or they can build gradually and linger until somebody starts realising that there is something wrong.
When I was 14, I realised that I had something, but I didn't know what it was, you know, like, I'd sit at home and I didn't want to leave the house. I'd lock myself in my room for hours on end, days on end. In fact, I'd get my mum to bring me up meals, and you know, I did research into it. I tried to figure out what it was, why I was like this, and I blamed it on a bunch of other things. I blamed it on the fact I was bullied at school. I blamed it on my traumatic past, and nothing added up. So I did the research and I found out I had social anxiety. And then it all made sense. The panic attacks I used to get when the idea of school used to come up. Like, I remember one panic attack was so bad, and I was staying with my granddad at this point, and he tried forcing me out of the house. He was like, "Dude, you gotta go to school." He was a very military kind of guy, you know, and he was like, you have to go to school, you have to do this, you have to get your GCSEs. And I literally, I walked out of the house and I passed out.
I first found out I had this when I was in high school. I had a really bad experience in high school.
At the beginning of this school year, I started to have anxiety attacks. I would have trouble breathing, and I would just kind of collapse to the floor and start crying, and I couldn't understand what was going on. I just felt like immensely pushed into just this little box, and I felt really helpless, and I didn't know what to do.
I've had anxiety for a very long time, but first noticed it in my early primary school years as a kid. I felt different, like, why would this happen to me? Does anyone else feel this way? Does anyone else think the way I think? I probably suffer from it worse than what I did as a kid, mainly because as a kid you don't think too much of how people see you. As I grew up, it got worse because the way you think changes from a kid to a teenager, where everyone judges each other for even the smallest thing.
This all started when I was fairly young, really. I was always been a shy person. In year 3, when I was just a little kid, I was really happy. I was in a good school, I had loads of friends. Then my family had some problems and we had to move. Due to some family implications, I missed a full year of school. So from the end of year 3, not until the end of year 4, which had a very large effect on me. I was very stupid. I couldn't spell, I couldn't read, I couldn't write, I couldn't do maths. So obviously I got bullied for this. So after this, I became extremely shy.
Before I even knew I had anxiety problems, I always got like the feelings you do with like the stomach in a knot, your heart's racing, you're shaking, nervous about everything, you can't eat, can't sleep. I didn't know what it was at all.
Now, I'm not going to explain all the different types of anxiety there are. You can very easily look them up if you would like to look further into them. But there are 7 main types: generalized anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder, phobias, social phobia, which is social anxiety, panic attacks, and post-traumatic stress disorder. And all this can affect someone's concentration, confidence, sleep, appetite, and outlook. People with anxiety disorders may avoid talking to others about their worries because they feel that no one will understand.
I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't talk to my wife, she didn't understand.
I couldn't talk to anyone. I felt like I couldn't talk to anyone, that no one was really there to help me.
You know, I never felt like I could communicate with anybody. I never felt that I could speak to somebody openly about how I felt, my experiences, what I was going through.
So although anxiety disorders are common, people who have them may feel alone or mistakenly feel that anxiety is a weakness or a personal failing.
You kind of blame yourself that there's nothing you can do, or you kind of blame yourself that it's your fault.
Anxiety can keep people from going places and doing things that they enjoy.
I once went to buy a pack of gum and I got too scared and I just couldn't. My heart started racing, I got really hot, and I just trembled all the way from my core all the way out to my fingers, my toes. It was just awful, and that's physically, but mentally, I mean, it just, the only way I can describe it is I felt like I was walking on a tightrope and any moment I could fall, you know, no tethers to catch me. I just panicked and I didn't know what to do.
There are possibly 2 ways that you can go about with getting help. There is seeking professional help. Ask your doctor, nurse, school counsellor, just someone who will be able to help you. It will probably be the most difficult thing ever, but once you've opened up to somebody, even if once you do it, you feel like you didn't get much out of it. Like, I know people that have been to the doctors with it, they feel like the doctors didn't help, but the experience of actually saying, no, I need help, I'm going to the doctors, they felt that just opening up to the first person was a great start, because that meant they could start opening up to friends, to family, to other people that have anxiety.
No matter what you think, there is someone out there who can help you and who you really do need to talk to if you want to get over this problem that you're having.
Try to open up to people. It may be scary, it may be hard, but it does help.
And if you're not comfortable talking to your parents with it, you know, the next trip you take to the doctors, it's okay to ask your parents to leave, you know, and to have a discussion with your doctor one-on-one. If you're not willing to go to your parents or your doctor, you know, just find someone. You know, it's really overwhelming and scary at first, you know, to start talking about it, but bit by bit, you know, it'll make it easier.
But there is also choosing to start making a difference to your life and the way you think and feel things. To just stop and think that what you are doing right now is something that you will look back on when you're older and feel so bad about not choosing to make a difference sooner. The time you said no to pretty much every opportunity you ever got faced with. Even if it simply means starting to say yes to things you wouldn't usually. You don't have to go all out there and start saying yes to things all of a sudden because you can suddenly do it. You're this person who hasn't had anxiety this whole time. So start building yourself up to saying yes. Even if that means saying yes to one thing a week you wouldn't usually. One thing a month you wouldn't usually. Let me tell you this, when you've done at least one thing you wouldn't usually and you've gone through it happily without any panic attacks or feelings of worry or dread, you will feel the most amazing person in the world, and that small thing that you've now done will boost you enough to be able to do 5 more things, because it gives you the biggest confidence booster. It's just actually going and doing it, which is the most difficult part. But I promise you right now, it is so worth it.
Challenge negative thoughts, face your fears, Don't be afraid to put yourself out there and do things just because you have an anxiety doesn't mean you can't do it.
You do not want to hear about all the things that your friends are going out and doing and all the memories that they are making that you're missing out on because you feel that you can't do it. You want to look back at the age you are now and say, do you remember that time? That was such a good time. I know for the amount of things I have said no to, I have probably missed out on an incredible amount of things. And the things that I've said yes to, each and every one of those times I've said yes to, I say, oh, do you remember when that happened? That was so good. Oh, that was such a good time. I'm so glad I went to that place, did that thing. But then I remember the things I've said no to, and I think there could have been a time in that place which I would say, I'm so glad I went and did that. But because I didn't, I don't know what could have happened and what that could have led to, and memories that I could have made from that. You will never ever get the age you are at right this second again. Staying locked up in your bedroom or house because you fear things which are on the outside is all good when you're at that point in time because you feel safe and away from everything. But in a month's time, before you know it, you're still in that bedroom, still in that house, and you won't ever get that month back.
Tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself, and no heart has ever suffered when it goes in search of its dream.
Depression comes from worrying too much on the past. Anxiety is worrying too much about the future.
I learned there are troubles of more than one kind. Some come from ahead, others come from behind, but I've brought a baseball bat, and I'm all ready, you see. Now my troubles are going to have trouble with me, and that's from Dr. Zeus.
I don't have a wand, unfortunately. I can't get a wand right now and just zap you into this big, boosting, confident person who is able to do whatever they want and please, because I can't. But what I can tell you is to not feel that you should let anxiety control your life. Anything, not just anxiety. Nobody should let anything control their life, even if that means depression or a person who isn't helping the situation of your anxiety disorder. You shouldn't let anything control your life, and a mental illness is just one of them.
I think what got me in control of it was finding out what triggers it. Once you figure out what triggers it and do what you can to eliminate that, whether it be people in your life that just cause way too much stress and whatever, I don't know. Just cutting out the small things that stressed me out or caused me to have anxiety just reduced my anxiety levels and my panic attacks down like a ridiculous amount.
One of the biggest things that probably has helped me today is just getting out of the living situation I was in. That's what caused me the most stress, I think. And so now as I'm less stressful, I have panic attacks less often.
If you know of someone who has anxiety and you don't really know much about anxiety, I can't speak for everybody, but I would say the biggest advice to give you is to just literally have them know that you are there. People with anxiety aren't going to come up to you and just tell you all their problems and worries, because even if they're your best friend, they feel that they can't because you won't understand. So have that person know you are there to help, to talk, and that you do understand they may have a lot of things going on in their head right now. So if they ever need to let it out, then you're the person to do it for them.
My best advice to you is just to be there. You know, even if you don't understand, just try to tolerate it. Try to help them when and where you can, and try to make them understand that they're not alone. People with anxiety appreciate that a lot more than you think.
The best thing you can do is help them. Talk to them. Get them to get, like professional help. And hopefully things work out.
If you are with someone who is having a panic attack, it's the same principle. Let them know that you're there if they need it. Don't panic. The last thing they need is somebody else having a panic when they're having a panic. Just make them aware that you're there. If they need anything, go get it for them. If they suddenly say I need water or I need space, just do whatever they ask.
Give them some space, but let them know that you're there if they need you.
So the main purpose of this video isn't just to like start preaching out and acting as if I'm some sort of god who knows everything. It is about telling you that you are not on your own. You're not standing alone, and I hope this video can give you comfort in that. I really, really do. There are other people who are willing to talk about it, who have it themselves. I want everyone who has got to this point in the video to comment below. Tell people how you deal with anxiety. Tell people your story. Reply to other comments of people. Help each other. Share things. If there is something which helps you, let other people know they could help from it. Or look at other people's comments, they could be trying to help you with things. If you're learning about all this anxiety stuff, look at the comments below. There could be people who are willing to help you. Maybe you're not sure whether you are suffering from anxiety. Maybe you're unsure on the topic at the moment. You can go read other people's stories and see if you can relate to them. If you would really, really like to help me and other people watching this video, make a video response and post it down here so people watching this video can see the video down there and they can learn from your video. Or you can ask for help. Make a video asking for people who are suffering from anxiety to talk to you. We can all be friends right now who all are in the same boat and can feed off each other, help each other, and it will be beautiful. We can create a beautiful, big, I don't know where this sentence is going. All them people down there in the view count, all them people are willing to help you. So post your comments, video responses, messages, and we can find happiness through sharing our anxiety disorders. My name is Ellie.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Rendon.
I'm Grant.
I'm Robbie.
My name is Michael.
I'm Yvonne.
And this is Project SAD.
This is Project SAD.
And this is Project SAD.
And together we can find happiness
By sharing anxiety disorders.
Now that you have watched this whole video, your challenge is to say yes to at least one thing today. And once you've managed to do that, and you know deep down it was something you didn't want to do because of those little voices in your head that are telling you no, come back to this video, let me know what it was you said yes to and how it benefited you. Then your comment can motivate other people who want to be willing to say yes. JSY, just say yes. Thank you for watching. Bye.